Hopefully that works, and perhaps it is, maybe, I don't know.
Let me see. I'm gonna refresh the page.
It looks like it is. I've
Yes,
got
it is.
some
There we go.
confirmation here. Cool.
Hi, hi, testing, testing. One, two, three.
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh my phone cover.
We'll see if anybody says anything. That's the. We'll give everybody a little bit to jump in here, and we'll actually get started at. Oh no! I gotta change that
Uh-oh. Let me
to.
see you get a blow.
Well,
Scary,
hold on
scary.
one second. I gotta change the. I didn't realize that the thumbnail was wrong.
It was the birthday one, Scary.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta change that. Thanks for
Uh,
thanks for being here while I fix all of this.
yes, live streaming the podcast with podcast, not podcast, we're video. Live streaming
Let's see.
fixing
How do
nerd
I
video.
change that?
Nerd video with
Edit.
anime trainer. Join if you want.
Let's see.
Let's make music together. How many people are in the chat?
I don't know. You
Jaxblade just
Is my voice low? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to change this freaking thumbnail. It's been a long time. Um, let's see. Oh, there it is. Change thumbnail. Give me 1 second. Da da da.
let me go to the fucking curate thing just to make sure my voice is coming in loud and clear.
And we'll, you know what?
Curate Incorporated. Mic gain seems to be up. Alright, let me check.
We're double checking things. Yay.
Yay. He's on fire. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, settings. And then we go to
And
voice.
everyone is learning.
Everyone is learning today. Everyone in the chat, put in your favorite anime character who lives.
Heck yeah. Who we got?
I like Oblander. Get the fuck out of here.
We're gonna get demonetized. Ugh.
Especially. Oh, I'm so curious what the boys meant on their Twitter when they were like, "Oh, what could beat this episode?" And they're just like, had that thing of butchers drinking. I'm just like, don't do comic stuff.
I'm
Don't
I'm
do
I'm
real
terrified.
comic stuff.
I'm terrified because I don't know what to expect, to be honest.
Right.
Let's see. Did I wonder if the? You know what? I'm glad everybody's here early. That even though we're not really doing anything, but that's okay. We said we were going to start at 4:30, and we will start at 4:30 as soon as I fix this nonsense.
We'll start at 4:30.
I thought I changed the.
If I'm too low, let me know. He can always boost me on the thing, I think. But I don't know. We're figuring it out, people. It's okay.
He said now you're completely silent somehow. Hold on 1 second.
Now I'm completely silent.
1 second.
Oh no!
Let's see. Talk now.
About what? Boobs? I like boobs.
We will see if anybody. So now it's lower, but kind of. Now it's perfect. Okay.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
like John.
That was
we can't talk about that. Okay,
that was
come on.
probably
No.
my fault. My bad.
It's all good.
Didn't have a thing selected. You know what? I'm just gonna freak out because I still can't. I thought I changed the the thumbnail, but it is.
Hey, Master Roshi is the strongest power level on Earth. Yeah, he's stronger than those people.
Well, you know what? I don't know what to tell you.
Tell me what I need to do to get.
Tell me why.
I ain't nothing. Ginger Core 69. Hey Jax, what's your opinion on professional breaking competitions like the guys who elbow through concrete and stuff like that? That is
an interesting question.
I mean, it's cool. It's very. I think it's like really hype to see that. Like that's one thing. I was talking to my friend who does like fighting stuff, and like we were talking about how like while MMA and like all that stuff is like better for like, you know, more practicality stuff, like traditional martial arts, they give you that fucking like Cobra Kai strength where you just like break shit and it's just like, oh fuck. Like if you saw some guy, like, even though they say that, you know, boards don't punch back, like you saw some guy like just like go, I'm not in the mood, and just punch through a brick wall.
Yeah,
like,
that's a little bit of like, okay, maybe I don't want to deal with that, you know.
I don't want to do this. If you can do that to wood, I can only imagine what my skull would be like.
Basically, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, it did change it. Haha, we're good.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Welcome.
right on freaking time.
Remember, it's 4:28 p.m., so you have 2 minutes.
I have 2
go
minutes.
Get a snack.
Yeah, so
go get your electrolyte drink.
Go do the pee-pee.
Only important. Go pee or poop if you need to.
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's some speed pooping right there.
Oh man, dude, like, don't you love when you just take a dump and it just like comes out and you don't have to wipe? It's just like,
the ghost.
Wow,
poop.
This is magic. That's magic.
It is magic.
I don't know how that works. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, you know,
Fiber.
My dog never has to wipe.
I know my dog never has to wipe either.
It's
like he doesn't even do that thing where he wipes his butt on the grass and stuff like that. I'm just like that. It's crazy, absolutely crazy, people. It comes out.
Yes, Mario. It is in fact where you enter the stream. Congratulations.
Which athlete has the biggest power level? Let me tweet about this.
Which athlete? Me. No, I'm just kidding. Not me at all.
You know, I was wondering this. Like, it's funny to think, because I had this dream. Oh, chat, I could tell you about this dream I had like a couple days ago. It was so funny. So like, I don't know what happened, but like in my dream, I like was like this athlete, but like I was like a metahuman or something like that. But no one knew I was metahuman.
Cheating.
And so like, yeah, and so like I would just like I would do different sports, and so it was like, oh, I played professional football, and I just dunked on them, and then like I would make so much money, but I was like, oh, this is boring, and then my whole thing in the dream, I don't know why, because it was like I was watching a version of myself in the dream that was like possessed, and I was like, this is boring. I require an opponent worthy of my skills, and so it'd be like you get in the ring, fight Brock Lesnar, and then you just knock him out, and it's just like that's it. That's all you fucking people have, and it was just getting to this point where like I started becoming like Saitama.
You just get
like, this is so.
You just have
irritating.
a Homelander speech where you're like, I am better.
Yeah, I'm better, and then it was so, but it was one of those situations where I was just like, I'm so bored with these people. I want skill. It does all this money and all this whatever. I don't care. I just want skill. And then like an alien invasion happened, and then the shit got hype. And then, like, I woke up before I got to embark on it, and I was just like, that dream was crazy. It was just like, I don't know why I had that dream.
All right. It is 4:30. It is time to make the donuts.
It's time to talk the donuts.
Something like that. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Is that what they say nowadays? That's what the kids say?
No, that's an old Saturday
We're
Night Live
millennials.
reference,
We
so.
don't know this.
No, I don't know anything. You know, like I've got a almost 15-year-old son, and sometimes I'm like, I don't like. He said Riz to me, and I was like, I was like, what? He said, you know, like charisma. I'm like, no, you don't get to shorten the word charisma.
Riz. I got Riz, Dad. No, because like that is become a thing all over Twitter. Like for instance, I remember there's so many things where I feel old because I Google things. Like I remember I was like, what the fuck is Cap? Like, how is Cap lying? And so it's just like, you know, it's like they're putting a cap on something that they're trying to hide.
So I didn't have too much
like,
problem with Cap because, like, you know, whatever. But I pick up on his lingo pretty quickly just because I'm terminally online.
right.
So
are you based? Does he think you're based?
He probably not. No. I will tell you right now, if you ever have children, something you're going to learn is that they will never, ever, not ever think you're cool.
Aww. Yeah, that is true.
They just don't.
We are live streaming now. Come join.
All
Also,
right.
go check out The Last of Us on HBO Max if you haven't already. It was
Is
actually
it?
really
Oh,
good.
is it good?
Yeah, it actually is really good.
Okay,
I
yeah.
wanna
I
say that
didn't even know it was out.
No, it came out today. It was like 90 minutes, but it's only one episode. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, this is really, really good. I liked it a lot.
Well, I will have to check it out then.
Yes, definitely.
I did not play the game.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay, well, actually, this is good because when, funny enough, Pedro Pascal, the main guy who's playing Joel, they said to him and the girls playing Ellie not to play the games because they wanted them to give their perspective. Like, they still know the context. It's not like they don't know the context, but they didn't want them to just mimic the game 100% by watching it. They wanted them
Gotcha.
to give their own unique performance. So I was like, I respect that. They still know the character. They still know the story and all this stuff. It wasn't like Resident Evil or like Street Fighter, one of those movies where they do that. So
Okay, well, I am going to put the link to the power level calculation into the chat,
put the Zelda too.
so that people can see what that is.
Yeah.
And give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and throw that in there.
One.
Gotcha. Done. Flipping done.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so today what we're going to be talking about, if you guys were not sure of what do you mean by who has the biggest power level on the planet, whatever, what I mean is a few years ago, I got bored while I was at work. And
Yeah, of course.
And I made a power level calculation to try to like figure out who was the most athletic on the planet. So don't think about like this is combat power because it's not combat power. This is just kind of figuring out like general athleticism. So if you're really good at lifting, or if you're really good at running, or if you're really good at all around, you're probably going to have a pretty good power level. So what I've kind of done is right now I want to see what some of the best athletes of the modern time or right now, what their power levels might look like. And so I did some research. I've got as much information as I can get, because not everybody's information is always available. So you can't ever, know exactly what's going on. So basically for anybody who's just listening, it's your bench press in pounds max, back squat max, deadlift max, overhead press max, weighted pull-up max that counts your body weight. The max push-ups you can do in 2 minutes, max sit-ups you can do in 2 minutes, max squats you can do in 2 minutes. The max number of pull-ups or chin-ups you can do without coming off the bar in 2 minutes. Your vertical leap, and then which I have modified recently, so the score that you're seeing on the post is not correct. And then your 100-meter run time score, your mile score, 10-mile score, 300-yard shuttle run, which is like an anaerobic thing, and then which is brutal. And then a 10-meter agility shuttle, and then your long distance score, which is basically you get points for every mile that you're able to run past 10 miles.
Yeah.
So, and there are swimming things too into that, but I didn't actually get any swim athletes or anything like that. I tried to keep it as simple as I could. So
they're too busted.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I'm sure that you guys have random questions about like possible people that might be on this list. But the first person that I thought of when I thought about who I wanted to check out was Ronnie Coleman.
The GOAT!
Because I wanted to know what Ronnie Coleman's power level was. So I went and found
Nothing but a peanut.
Lightweight. I just wanted to see what what his lifts were. So I went and found as much information as I could. And really all I could find was his lifts. I couldn't find anything about honestly, he probably can't do much else. So there's
He was a cop, so he could probably chase down some criminals.
Yeah, I mean,
he probably has good cardio.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know that he would be fast enough to actually get any score on the 100-meter. Just because he weighs so much. Like his off season weight was like 315 pounds. So that man wasn't chasing a whole lot.
Lean too.
So Ronnie Coleman could do 800-pound squat for 2 reps.
Nice.
Nasty. 800-pound deadlift for 2 reps.
Nice.
495 bench for 5 reps.
Nice.
315-pound overhead press for 11 repetitions.
Oof.
Now, so using a
Right.
1 rep max calculator, we've got a max squat of 822 pounds and a max deadlift of 822 pounds. Max bench of 556. Max overhead press of 430. I couldn't find anything about his pull-ups, but I'm going to assume that the man could at least do 1 pull-up.
Right.
You know? So
Right.
So we'll give him his weight for that. So 315 for that. So that gets him that score. If we add all of that together with just the lifts, that's no calisthenics, no running, no anything else, that's a power level of 29.45. That's nothing. That's
29.45.
just the lifts.
That is stronger than a cow in Dragon Ball. Okay. I'll do the thing when like we find out their power levels. I'll say like that's like this in Dragon Ball. Like if Farmer with a shotgun, meme aside, oh yeah,
Ronnie Coleman could wreck 6 Farmer with a shotgun.
6 farmers with a shotguns.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Tournament
of power.
So for all of you who are wondering like where the normal average everyday person falls, it's about a 5. So the calculation actually came out to where the normal untrained individual is about 5.
Like just average growing up, eat McDonald's, go do work a 9 to 5.
Pretty much your power levels,
yep.
if your average is going to be about a 5.
Average 5.
Yes, sir. All right.
That's awesome.
The next person that I found is a favorite of mine. He's not really like a competitive athlete. He's actually a sort of a coach. He does like ultra marathons and Ironman triathlons.
David Goggins.
No, his name's Alex Viada.
Oh, Alex Viada.
And he is a monster. He
Okay.
even though he's an endurance athlete, man, 705 squat,
Ooh,
465 bench,
damn.
700 deadlift.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so no, we don't have anything for his overhead press, but I'm going to assume that if he can bench 465, he can probably overhead press bare minimum 225.
Right.
And I'm going to say that he can probably do 10 pull-ups because just he weighs about 220. And that strength would probably, if he can't
Carry
do 10
over.
pull-ups, I have no idea why he wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
So that gives him a max of about 293 for his pull-up. And that gives him 30 points for doing 10 pull-ups because you get points for your max pull-up and you get points for the number of pull-ups that you do.
Right.
So I tried to lowball it since I don't have the number. And then, all right, here's the cool part. Not only are that his lifts, man ran 4-minute 15 mile.
4-minute 15 mile. Dang.
Yeah.
And he's that size too.
Yeah. 220
That's
pounds. Yeah.
crazy.
Nasty.
He's like Dopo Orochi's kid.
I said, actually, I wrote an article a long time ago calling him the real life Shinogi Kosho.
Yeah, he is. Running with people on his
No,
back.
excuse me, Shinogi Kureha.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so like then using that mile time, we've got an estimated 10 mile time of 48:48. Okay, so both of those, he gets around 300 points or so for each of those, and then he on record ran at least a 50-mile ultra marathon.
And what did he like eat his competition? On
I
the way?
guess probably. So
fucking-
every mile that you can run over 10 miles, you get 10 points. So that means he gets an additional 400 points for running 50 miles.
That is
That
is really insane.
Yeah, that is crazy. So that puts Alex Viada at a power level of what do you think?
Got to be in the 30s, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he has to be in the 30s because his cardio is so up there.
34.7.
I was about to say 33. So yeah, damn. Sheesh.
Okay, so does anybody follow anybody in the chat follow the CrossFit stuff? Anything about that?
We care about our joints, Steven. Okay.
I'm not saying doing CrossFit, but does anybody follow it?
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm sure that some people, it's still fun to watch it sometimes,
Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Either because you want to watch somebody snap their shit up doing terrible deadlifts, or because sometimes there's decent competitors there.
No, it is. What are you talking about? The dude who's like the fittest guy in the world with
Yeah,
like, the 8-pack.
the
And all
current
that?
guy, the current,
Yeah.
the number one guy. I'm not as familiar with it. I didn't watch the CrossFit Games this year. His name's Justin Medeiros.
Justin Medeiros.
Yeah,
Okay, let me take a look at the picture of this Justin Medeiros.
He was born in, I think, 99.
Oh, he's a youngin.
Yeah, which made me feel awful.
No, whatever you see these people, it's just like, man, can you just make me 14 again? Someone get the Black Star
Can
Dragon
I
Ball.
exactly? Can I have the information about everything that I have now as a teenager? Because that would be great.
This is a whole plot point in the freaking Incredible Hulk, the 2008 movie. It's like, my brain in the younger body, it'd be crazy.
Basically, yeah, basically.
Yes. That would be hype. Oh god.
So yeah,
yeah, this dude is ripped.
he is. Yeah. So I'll put his name in the chat here in case anybody wants to look him up.
He looks like a grown ass man. Like, gee, okay, damn, all right.
Give me 1 second. Where are we at? I keep losing. There it is. All right, and paste. There we go. Mario said, I only watched the sarcastic commentary on the World Championships there. It's called the Washed Up Loser Olympics. Jesus.
Out of pocket. Out of pocket.
That is... Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. All right, let me go back to what I got here for Medeiros here. He had a squat of 485.
That's strong.
Deadlift of 537.
Okay.
With just those two lifts, mind you, that's all I could find on him as a verified. Just those two lifts, that's a power level of 10.37. Now, I'm going to assume that the man could at least bench his own body weight.
I hope so.
Could at least do one pull-up and could maybe do an overhead press with his body weight, considering that the CrossFit people do a lot more overhead work than they do benching.
Right, right.
So that gives him a 15.92 on those assumptions. I'm fairly certain that the man could do 50 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, which would give him a total of another 1.5 points, putting him at 17.42. And if we assume that he only gets 200 points from the 100-meter run, the mile, and the 10-mile, that gives him a 23.42. And that's not counting the possibility that he could probably run a marathon if he's winning the CrossFit Games.
Right,
and he's probably not going to have any problem. He probably wouldn't get an amazing score on the shuttle runs, but he would at least, get a total.
Right.
So I'm going to say that even lowballing him, he might hit 30.
Right. No, yeah, he's elite though.
Yeah.
Like, those CrossFit Games, like joints pain aside, like they do some insane stuff in those games, like the stamina endurance, and then like the fact that they brag about getting rhabdomyolysis, which is just like, go to the hospital. It's just like, yeah.
I think the culture's probably moving a little bit away from that now, but
I hope so.
Yeah, because it is sort of like, bruh, what are you doing?
He looks like it goes into a copyrighted can, my friend. So,
Michael Scott, the other guy, his name was Alex Viada. So let me type that for you. Alex
Steve Carell's that strong?
Viada. Let's see here.
You said Michael Scott?
Yeah, there's a guy in the chat named Michael Scott.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I thought you were saying Steve Carell
No,
was
no.
doing stuff.
So,
I was like, what?
No, that would be funny, but no.
Yeah.
So we've got a bodybuilder, we've got like a kind of hybrid athlete, and then we've got a super hybrid all over the place CrossFit athlete, and they're all hitting around 30.
30?
30
Around
seems
30.
Yeah, around 30. Little, Alex Viada was a little like higher than 30, it was like 34.
Right.
And so, I started to see sort of like a pattern emerging with that, which was very interesting to me. But let's see here. So here's one that everyone should be familiar with is Usain Bolt.
Yes, Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt has his 100-meter time of 9.58, which is blitzing. It is just nasty.
And what's funny is he probably could have went faster if he wasn't bullshitting, because he's like, when you watch the thing, he's just like that when he's going across it.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that he would be giving his full effort during that, but like, who knows?
Well, like, because if you look at the other competitors, they are going as fast as they can. He is just having fun. He is just like, I'm just having a
That's
good
all
time.
I've got in me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's this perfect meme image. Like, chat, I don't know if you see it, but like, there's this meme image of Usain Bolt just like smiling, and this one guy he's sprinting next to is just like, just like so mad, just like, oh man, yeah. So yeah, he could probably. I mean, in his prime, he's what, like, how old is he now? Like in his late 30s, mid 30s.
I actually don't know how old he is right now.
Well, he was in his 20s when he was competing in the what was it, 2007?
Let's see how old he is. Hold on.
I think he's like in his late 30s.
Bolt
or mid 30s.
He's 36.
Oh yeah, dang.
He's younger than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, he's retired too, so it's like I feel like again, like because there's that whole thing of like you get worse as you get older and stuff like that. And for some things it's true, and it's just like, but there's some things where it's like LeBron is one of those people where it's just like, you should be nerfed, but you're getting stronger. What is going on?
For a lot of athletes, like as you get into those like late 30s, performance starts dropping off. It just depends on the sport, really, because I've heard a lot of strongmen and powerlifting guys say that your 40s are your strongest.
Oh yeah, you get that ultimate dad strength.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of those guys say that your 40s is when you're going to be your absolute strongest.
Right. Yeah, it's just a different thing of like that muscle building. Like it does track. It does track, especially with what they're doing.
And yeah, I've definitely seen that in athletes that I've known personally.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't find any data on a lot of fighters.
Like Francis Ngannou.
Yeah. And I looked up Khabib.
What about Brock Lesnar? I feel like he would have it because he's a WWE guy.
Probably. I didn't look him up, but most of those guys, when I looked at their training, the only real thing that might track as far as like data would be running. Right. And then sometimes they've got some things like they do calisthenics and circuits and stuff like that, but nothing that's like, here's the most amount of weight I can lift or the most amount of push-ups I can do in one go.
Right.
It's a lot of sparring and so I mean, I'm sure that they're capable of doing those things. I just don't have the data for it. So I would love to do some interviews with like some decent athletes, that are like combat athletes, and be like, hey, what are your numbers for these? So because I'd love to see what your power level is, because it would be phenomenal to see if that elite thing that I'm starting to pick up with the in the 30s carries over to combat sports.
That'd be hype, because now you can like look at it from perspective, because like there are some combat athletes who like don't have like the strongest numbers in those like lifting or reps and stuff like that, but they just have that power just from all the drills, the training they do, and all that stuff. And
I'm sure a bunch of them can have a pretty good vertical. Right. They probably have a really strong 100-meter. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee that most of them are have a good mile. Just because that mile energy system is about the same as what you would be for a 5-minute round. Right. Time wise.
Right, because it's like because like the way I'm looking at it too, because I talked about like power levels in real life on my channel as well with when I was talking about something, but I didn't go like how you did. I think I mentioned your thing too, where you like talk about that. Like the way I would look at it more is like well, when we like talk about like different types of strength too, because like there's the absolute strength, the relative strength, the explosive strength, strength endurance, and then like stuff like that, and see like what has carryover and who's like the strongest in all of this. Because like for instance, like a big one you could have a conversation about is like someone asked me, who's stronger, Ronnie Coleman or Mike Tyson? And it's like, do you mean lifting or punching? Because that is dramatically different.
Yeah, and if you're talking about absolute strength, then Ronnie Coleman is stronger. If you're talking about explosive power, it might be Tyson. You know, so I mean, if you're talking about stronger being the guy who's standing at the end of the fight, it's probably Tyson.
Right, exactly. Because it's just like, because like this whole thing of like strength is I lift things up, I put them down. It's just like, yeah, that is one aspect of strength. But would you say someone who can do handstand push-ups without a wall and can like climb a freaking tree with their bare hands and stuff like that and has all this insane functional strength, you wouldn't say they're weak and then stuff like that by any means. And it's crazy. So I think like also taking into consideration, you know, like how functional they would be, like their cardiovascular system too, because it's just like, okay, who's fitter, like a fighter, like, you know, it's that whole thing of like who's faster, Bruce Lee or like Usain Bolt or something like that. It's just like fighting or running.
You know, it's comparing two completely different things. You can compare in regards to it's someone's sport with the specificity of whatever they're doing. But once you get outside of that, it really doesn't make any sense to compare them.
Right, exactly. Unless you are like freaking Captain America metahuman. Like that is like literally the only way. It's just like I can like lift this much weight and I'm this fast and this and I can do all this stuff and I'll be, but there's like you can never be the best at every single thing unless you were, because like, okay, like Brock Lesnar, right? Let's say he could deadlift like 1,000, or like Thor, half Thor. Like, yeah, let's talk about half Thor is like what was or is the strongest person on the planet, and he's like, I'm just this strong, right? And then it's just like, oh, put him in the pool with freaking Michael Phelps, he'll get dusted. Put him here, he'll get outclassed.
And that's part of the reason why I initially wanted to come up with the calculation, because I wanted to kind of give like, you know, show that there's levels of athleticism and that these are kind of when you have these elite people, just because this person can't do this and this person can't do this doesn't mean that one's better than the other. They're just operating, their power level is put into different stuff. You know, it's like you've got those anime things where they've got the triangle, the big,
or the diamond.
Yeah, the whatever it is, where they've got like the strength over here and the
the anagram or whatever, the something gram. Oh, I know it exactly. Is in Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. So, and you've got like strength and speed and all that other stuff out this way. And you see it a lot. You see it in a lot of different like fictional things. Sometimes in comics too. And he's like, oh, this guy's off the charts. But I kind of wanted to do that with this, you know, the power level, because you can be like, okay, this guy's at A class, but he just happens to be more, you know, pointed in this direction.
Right. Yeah, because he's just like, oh, you could be like this fucking powerful here, but then also consider like how fast do you get gassed out?
Yeah.
Like how much is your stamina like worth at this point? It's just like, okay, if we go in, can you handle going into deep water? Then it's just like, oh, you can't. Then, oh, I would say this person would be more powerful than you, or like in a certain, like it, ranking Ninja Turtles too, because it's just like, oh, creativity, this, like strength, but then precision, skill, all that stuff. Like they all have different like things, stuff like that. I think that's a really cool way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't take. I don't know. You just can't compare elite level athletes to other elite level athletes that are not doing the same things. It's like
exactly,
and you got to give each of them their respect. You can't be like, oh, so you can't be like, oh, this guy is the fastest. You know, oh, thank you for subscribing, Carson. I appreciate it.
Nice.
So you can't get like say that this guy's, you know, he can do a marathon in, you know, 2.5 hours. But, oh no, what's he bench? Who cares? The man is an elite level runner. Like an elite level long distance runner. Like you can, like, why are you even asking the question?
Right. No, exactly. It's so true. It's just like, oh, because, you know, there's people, it's like I talked about before, like people are very tribal. They're just like, we are the ultimate people of this tribe. You are nothing but a Kali. Pusher, some shit like that. It's just like, we are Kali pushers, and then it's just like, we of the Barbelos tribe. Yeah, Barbelos tribe. We Barbelos conquer all objects in path, unlike you of the Kali stunning tribe, or some shit like that. It's just like,
we are CrossFit. We are not a smart man. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
We are happy. Our joints hurt real bad, but we run real fast.
So yeah, all right. So let me get back to some of the other ones that I've found and did some calculations on. Let's see here. You know what? Since we talked about half Thor, let's throw his numbers out there.
Nice. Let's do it.
1,000-pound squat.
1,000
1,000-pound deadlift.
thousands.
Bench 540, but
He bench 540.
strong men don't bench.
That's insane.
I
feel like
they
he could
overhead
bench
press.
more.
They don't bench.
How much does Eddie Hall bench?
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure.
I feel like Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw can bench more than that. I don't know. I feel like
his overhead press is 440,
okay.
which the strong men do a lot of overhead press.
Right.
I've watched him do 6 neutral grip pull-ups at 400 pounds, which is his weight.
Right.
So that puts his max being at 464 pounds for a pull-up. And it also gives him 18 points for pull-ups normally. So calisthenics-wise. So he's got some calisthenics points.
Yes.
On that note, though, I do have... Because calisthenics, you might think, are a little underrated in the calculation. Because, you can only get, like, so many points in 2 minutes.
Right.
But if you do those reps with additional weight... like, for instance, if you have a quarter of your body weight and you do those squats, you get 2 points for every rep. If you have a half of your body weight, you get 3 points per rep. And every quarter you adds another point. Well, on that note, Half Thor can do 12 squats with 700 pounds, which is almost twice his body weight. So that gives him 7 points per rep because it is 1.75 times his body weight. And that is 84 points for just the squats. And so I didn't do any of the other calisthenics calculations because I didn't have any data to pull from. But just with his lifts, just with the pull-ups and the squats for the calisthenics stuff, his power level is 35.46.
Damn.
And honestly, that is the highest one that I have found so far. 35.46.
Does he get bonus points for his boxing career?
I mean, you know what? Now his power level's probably different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's probably transferred his absolute to explosive.
So I have seen him deadlift 700, as in his smaller,
his leaner state.
His Super Saiyan Red form.
Yeah, Super Saiyan Red.
So I have seen him in God form do 700 for the deadlift and I think a 700 squat. And I watched him bench 405 for 5, I think.
Okay.
So, and it didn't seem too difficult for him to do that. But, he does a lot more running and a lot more other. So he might even put himself on the board for some of those other, the running things now. So it's possible that his overall score didn't really change. It just shifted around.
Right. Now he's getting...
I'm thinking that probably if you really had all of the data, his power level might be close, like even before and now might be close to 40.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He does a fusion dance with himself.
And honestly, I can't really say that there would be too many people in the world that would be capable of getting above a 40.
Yeah, I don't think so.
40
either.
seems...
Like 40 sees like a max for a standard human being. Potential.
If you had a guy that was like amazing at everything,
right?
I could see it, like, just for whatever reason, you have a Captain America type dude that's just good at everything.
Yujiro Hanma.
Like, he might pull a 50 or 60. Like, that is, like, in my opinion, probably the maximum human potential that you could get.
Okay.
Is a 50 or 60.
Like, they can stop earthquakes?
Probably not that.
Okay.
That seems a little much on that to be fair.
So 50 or 60. That, I wonder what a type of person would look like at 60. Like, how fast
they would,
because
if somebody had a 60, they would probably be, first of all, horribly jacked, and then ripped insane, because they would probably be pretty light comparatively. They probably wouldn't have a lot of extra body fat because they'd have to be able to do the other running things on top of it.
Ooh. So what about those people born with myostatin-related muscular hypertrophy?
I don't know how that affects their long-term, like, their endurance stuff.
Because, like, from what I researched,
go ahead.
When I did, oh no, when I researched it doing a video, I found that the only thing that really, like, affected them negatively was sometimes they may get like stiff muscles, like if they don't like do like mobility stuff, like
Okay.
because of all the extra stuff. And then also just if they were like in a climate where like, you know, having that exercise, like they would like be in danger more because they have more fuel stuff they have to take care of. And so like that was some of the stuff I found. But then if they train and they got myostatin, it's just like some Broly shit. Like they get that like Broly gene
You know
going
what,
on.
I'm sure, and honestly, like I said, the difficulty with like the myostatin stuff relating to anything that's not strength is when you start getting into the speed and especially the endurance, you're going to start having diminishing returns because the heavier you
Right.
get, the more horsepower you're going to need to put out to go faster. And then
Right.
every pound that you add for a distance is like 3% loss of efficiency in your running.
Right.
So, I mean, like you add 50 pounds, it's like you have an insane amount of efficiency lost over the course of, like, say, a marathon. And
Right.
so you wouldn't be able to touch near the speeds or the overall endurance that somebody who's a little lighter that could be.
Right. No, exactly. Exactly.
So
Like you would have to.
you'd want to strike up a happy medium between a certain amount of muscle mass and then training that muscle mass to be as explosive and as active as possible, trying to recruit as
Right.
many fibers as it possibly could.
So you feel like adding them trying to add more body fat would also help as well, so they would have more excess energy for those longer periods.
No,
Because like even when you're too lean, that does like sort of
yes.
enable you to get gassed out faster.
Yeah, but like
Basically.
if you're already huge because of the myostatin thing, you're probably like more body weight's just going to make you worse at the endurance stuff.
Yeah, I feel so because I think the way I'm looking at it is like, okay, if their myostatin stuff makes them like what, let's say 6% body fat, something like 6%, 7%, something like that, right? And then like they're just jack shredded all that stuff, and then they like go up to like 10%, but they are still relatively active. I think that would be well. See, I don't know if it would be as healthy because, like, I say that for the average person that's like around a healthy
Hmm.
body fat percentage, but like to them because they're already so jacked naturally, like through their entire life, it would have been like, oh, I'm accustomed to this.
Sure, the accustomed nature to doesn't change the. There's probably a training effect that you could attribute to that, but it doesn't change the overall like biological mechanisms underneath.
Right. No, that's true. Cause it's just there's so much stuff that I like. I love looking at it and love researching it too. Cause it's just like, oh yeah. Cause there was a person I knew personally who was like really just super lean, and then they would just be like explosive, and then like I didn't see him for a few years, and then they weren't as lean, and I was like, oh, you good, dude? And he's just like, oh yeah, I'm not as lean because just life stuff, and I would been trying stuff out. But like he said that actually benefited him because like when we went on our longer runs before, he would get gassed the fuck out because he just was too lean, and now he's just like, oh man, I can maintain this.
Oh
faster. So I
no,
was like,
no,
oh
I completely understand because the times that
yeah,
I've been lean, I felt like trash.
yeah.
My
When
body
you're
does
too lean, it
not.
just
My
feels
body
shit.
does not like to be lean at all.
Exactly. Like it's like I think like for me, my body likes solid between 10 to 15 for myself. Sometimes a bit heavier, but like between 10 and 15, like probably around 13 is when like I have like a good amount of energy and stuff like that, and then my ab outlines are still there.
Yeah,
If I go lower than that, while I'll look like really good
you
aesthetically,
don't
it
feel as
just
good.
yeah, I don't feel as good. It's just
And then your strength suffers too. So I mean, you just have
yeah.
overall performance drops.
Exactly. And it's like the only thing I think that would boost, like 'cause I think it works for boxers too. It's just like your potential like depending on how you train, like your explosive strength could work because like like Manny Pacquiao is lean as fuck. He hits like a rocket,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So it's just like that whole thing. So it just depends on how it goes, and you don't have that much
Yeah,
size.
and I think some people natural like feel better at different body fat percentages for the most
Oh, they
part.
definitely. That's a
Now, mind you,
fact.
that's not to say like that. Oh, you're going to feel amazing at 40% body fat. That's not what
Oh
I'm saying.
yeah,
That's not what I'm
exactly.
saying. I'm talking about like there's ranges of body fat where somebody's like, okay, I carry a little bit more or I carry a little bit less than average body fat percentage, and
Right.
you're gonna feel okay. But like, I don't think everybody's like I said. I don't feel good when I'm that lean.
Yeah, well, I think like again, like it definitely does depend because because there are all those kids in high school who are like naturally cut, where like when they just hit a certain age, their abs
My
just go,
child.
yeah, really.
My
Yeah,
child
so-
just walks around like
Right.
how? What is this?
Right, right. And it's just like you just see it. No, it's just so funny because it's just like, oh yeah, I just naturally get abs. And then like if they start lifting, they get newbie gains. So like they're gonna build muscle, and those abs are gonna look even more impressive. And they're just gonna walk around like just absolutely crazy. And so they'll probably feel great for a long period of time. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I wish I had some of those Jags. So I was one of those kids who never got the naturally cut things. And I was just like, I was so envious.
I have
of those
always
kids
had to
in high
work to ever have anything that resembled abs.
Same.
Always.
I was like, I have to diet, I have to sprint, but it's just like, whatever. It's crazy. Oh man, it was naturally cut, motherfucker.
My kid is definitely natty. He's not even
Yes.
15 yet.
Has he
but
started lifting a lot?
He has okay. So most of his athleticism, he likes to flip and jump and do crazy stuff like that. He did a lot of karate, a lot of martial arts stuff. He
Awesome.
loves that. But he's just recently started to want to do more lifting type things.
Awesome.
So he started to actually do a lot of calisthenics. So
Oh, awesome.
push-ups. We did some handstand push-ups the other day, and then pull-ups. So he's doing some of that stuff. I got to get the boy to train legs. But
Right. Oh, he doesn't like training, but he loves flipping.
He likes to run and he likes to flip and kick and do stuff like that. But other than that, he doesn't want to squat.
Right.
Does not want to squat.
That's so crazy. Oh wow, that's so weird. But I guess like you remember like in Ninja Turtles 2, where it's just like Splinter's like, go flip
10
and shit
flips
like that.
now.
It's just like, yeah, exactly. So I guess you could make him do that if he doesn't want to do squat. Just
He
like,
would do
a
that though.
backflip.
He would just do
Okay.
it. He likes doing it.
So, I mean, it's a plyometric movement. So yeah, it's just explosive off. Oh, that's awesome.
If I can get
Do you
him
spar
to
with him?
no.
I mean, light, of course, not like.
so I have
Piccolo.
I have done some drills with him, mitt work, stuff like that. I did tell him when he's 18 we're gonna fight. So
Okay.
I told him I've been telling him since he was like 10 that when he's 18 we're gonna fight. So
Okay. Oh, that'll be good. It's gonna be good. Let's go.
So what he's very like I said, he's very athletic though. So like and he's caught me up by surprise a couple times being tricksy. But
Right.
but some of that is also like you're trying to be easy because it's like if I really hit the child, like he might shatter.
Right. Exactly. It's just like you just like wait, what freaking Pan and Piccolo when they were training, and just like, oh no.
Yeah, it's like boy, you weigh 125 pounds. Stop.
Right. Stop it. It's
Now,
like, all right.
He
calm
is
down
almost as tall as I am though. So
now. Oh.
yeah. So I'm not very tall, and I don't know if anybody in the chat here. I am only 5'7". I am not even average height. But my son is almost 5'7". He's about to be 15. I told him that if he's taller than me, that he's disowned. So.
Oh. Boy, you better stop. You better run more to shrink yourself.
But I think he's going through a growth spurt because the boy will not stop eating.
No, that's what happens. That is one of the best parts. Just like eating all that stuff, just like, hey, Dad.
And not only that, but like he'll like, if you don't watch him, he's like, "Did you just eat that entire thing of ice cream?" And it's like,
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, the metabolism. Oh, I miss the metabolism.
So there's a couple of things in the chat that I haven't addressed.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
We did talk about MMA fighters a little bit earlier, but I don't really have the data to be able to give a proper listing of their power level. Unfortunately, I would like to do some of that, but that would probably require me to actually interview those people and ask them what their numbers are for those feats. And
Right.
also, Moss asked earlier if we were doing current athletes or if it was athletes of the past as well. A little bit into the past, but not super far back because once again, that is lacking data. Because one of the people in my Discord, which is you can check out. You should be able to find the link for that in the
Join his
description of the
Discord.
video. We talk about all sorts of things and we get help about training and you guys can discuss your workouts and whatever. But somebody wanted to know about Rocky Marciano and what
Yeah.
his power level would be. And Rocky Marciano, if you don't know, was like one of the best
Crazy.
boxers of all time,
Raging
undefeated,
bull.
ridiculous, monster.
Raging Bull.
And so Rocky Marciano did a bunch of different training, but it's old school stuff. So it's like a lot of running, a lot of like calisthenic stuff, a lot of, a lot of those dudes even wrestled just to,
Yeah.
to train their conditioning and whatnot. And I think, he used to train by picking up 100-pound rock over his head and stuff. So like there's a couple,
Right, yeah.
but like I don't really have the data to be able to figure out what his power level would be. So I don't want to guess.
What about Arnie? Because like 70s bodybuilders are a different breed. Like they had to be strong. Like they had to perform feat of strengths on stage to show like you're not only that way.
Yeah,
but you
70s
look this
bodybuilders.
way.
I'm gonna say probably one of the most athletic bodybuilders of that era. Oh come on, brain! I just had the name. Shorter guy,
Franco Columbu.
Franco Columbu was probably one of the most athletic bodybuilders of all time. Man was insane.
You would make him run. Like, because it's funny, a lot of people don't think of like 70s bodybuilders doing cardio, but I watched this entire thing with Arnold where he was talking about it, and he was just like, oh yeah, we did cardio. We did it all the time. We just didn't, talk about it because we didn't think it was that important. And like, they would run, they would sometimes jump rope. Him and Franco would like, go run on the beach. Sometimes they would ride their bikes to the gym
Yeah.
there and back. So like, they would do a bunch of different like cardio. So like, and Franco used to be a boxer too. So like,
I've seen some of the guys, would play football or they would go sprinting or stuff like that. So I mean, even the Hulk.
The whole yeah, exactly. Lou Ferrigno, freaking classy dude. Like, oh yeah, strong monster.
Who's
beast.
still in really good shape.
Yeah,
He's still in really good shape.
Crazy how good shape. I mean, like, yeah, I think his like what was it? Because like. Because I know he still is lifting and stuff like that. I thought he was doing something else. I can't remember specifically, but yeah, he's still like incredibly in shape for his age. Like it's great.
Yeah, somebody said Paul Anderson was the GOAT. Paul Anderson definitely had some insane feats of strength. Do you know who Paul Anderson is?
His name sounds familiar. I know if I'll see a picture of him, I'll probably like remember. Hold on one second.
Yeah, he's an American weightlifter, and he just
That big dude. Yeah, I've seen his picture before.
so
The dude with
some
like
of,
yeah.
So we've got some of his lifts here: 1,200-pound squat,
Ooh.
820 deadlift, 628 bench, 485 clean and press. Yeah, nasty stuff.
He is insane.
Let's see. Yeah, assisted deadlift using metal hooks attached to the wrists. He did 1,000 pounds. Yeah, just an insane monster of a man. And to be, especially for back then.
How strong was Andre the Giant then?
See, he didn't exercise.
Yeah, because he was just big.
Yeah, he basically said, and like in Princess Bride, when he said, "I don't even exercise," he did not.
Right.
He was just huge.
No baby oil.
Like I heard stories about him, and he would basically just like get done wrestling or whatever, and then just go get drunk.
Yeah, he would drink like 100 beers in like a night. It is insane.
And like he's holding the can, and it looks like he's holding a tiny White Claw or something like that.
Right, exactly. It's just, oh god, that dude was an insane, gigantic, literal giant man. So, but now it's just like, okay, now I'm thinking like there have been a lot of like really big people now because it's just like, okay, so Shaq, because I know Shaq could bench 475 before like the bench press, as it claims many, started injuring his shoulder, so he can only do 415 now. Only do 415 now. So it's just like.
But I mean, that's a very large, and like as we were talking about before the stream, like basketball dudes are not exactly known for absolute strength as far as like upper body stuff is concerned, because it's not specific to the sport. There's no reason for them to have it.
Right, exactly. It's just like I just need strong legs and dunk and all this stuff, and it's just crazy, like
Yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah, Moss in the comments just said at one point Paul Anderson held the record for the most weight ever lifted in history with a back lift, 6,270 pounds. It's like,
Jeez.
so basically all you do is like you're at like a 90 degrees, so like, you know, with like a donkey calf raise where you're like bent over.
Right. Oh yeah.
And you've got the weight on you, and your goal is to just pick it up.
Right.
So I mean, mind you, that's really impressive. Like, that's amazing. But like, you know, I don't really know what that practical application of that is. Now, mind you, that he's also super strong and everything else. So that's not taking anything away from Paul Anderson.
No, exactly. It's just like, if you need someone to help you move.
So if
you go.
if you guys who are in this chat here have listened to this, you know, we've gone through several of the athletes that I found that I think probably have some of the highest power levels on the planet, specifically, you know, strongman half Thor or current half Thor. If you can find anybody's data that you can get into the 40s, I would love to see it. If you can if you can just, you can leave it in a comment when this goes live, or you can join the Discord and drop it in there, or you can tag me on Twitter at the Anime Trainer, and just tell me anybody's data that you can find that might add up to a 40. Now, I don't want to go off like speculation, because you could be like, oh, well, this person, you know, they're in really good shape. It's got to be a 40. It's like, that's great, but I don't have any data. And data is what I want.
What? Didn't you watch that documentary on the guy who fought the guy from Russia who could punch as hard as a train and had a robot friend? Like, yeah, that guy is like definitely in his 40s.
Are you talking about Rocky 4?
Yeah. Rocky 4 was a documentary.
Okay,
based
so
on very real things.
I love Rocky 4 a lot,
Right.
except for the weird stuff with the robot.
Oh, so you're one of those, like, so you're happy Stallone re-released it without the robot scenes?
Yeah, the robot scenes are stupid and they shouldn't exist.
Yeah. It's a stupid 80s movie. It's fun. It's beautiful.
Well, because like you see the first two movies and you're like, this is art. Like,
Right.
And then even 3, you're like, okay, all right,
Right.
cool, yeah, this is still good. And then 4, you get to like, that's strange. And then Rocky 5, I want to kill myself.
Yeah, I hate Rocky. We don't talk about Rocky 5.
Yeah,
That's why
D. Harvey, I know that you said that Rocky 5 grew on you, but I think it's just you, buddy.
There are people who like Rocky 5, and then there's the rest of us.
I have seen every Rocky at least 20 times, except for Rocky 5. I've seen it twice.
Yeah, I've seen Rocky 5 like, I think once. Yeah, I watched it once time. Because my favorite is Rocky 3. Because Rocky 1 is that's a beautiful masterpiece of a movie. But then, like, I just like Rocky 3 because I really love the dynamic between Apollo and Rocky trained together. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
you had that edge, eye of the tiger. And then
You
they're
got the
working
you got the
together.
Goku and Vegeta thing going on here, yeah.
Exactly. And then the ending fight, that is how I wanted Dragon Ball to end for years. And Super did it, but it was kind of meh.
Ding.
But like I always wanted to just like have that like ending fight of like Goku and Vegeta, like, hey, it's been crazy, right? Yeah, let's go. Yeah. And then Super did, but it was nowhere near as hype as the way I was picturing it. in my head.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
yeah, it's just,
I liked Rocky. I liked Balboa. Balboa
Right.
was good, and I loved both the Creeds. I am excited for Creed 3.
okay.
Now,
Even
mind
though
you,
Sylvester's not in it.
yes. I mean, Rocky
Okay.
had to die at some point. Okay.
I don't think he's dead in it. I think he's gone because Sylvester Stallone was like the way he was talking about it. He made it seem like because I know he was infuriated by that whole Drago spinoff that they're trying to do. And it was
Oh,
like
wow.
that's my property and they're trying to steal it away from me. Like
Yeah,
that's just,
something about I don't think that he owns the rights to the movies anymore.
yeah, I think something happened.
which
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure how. And he was like, basically talking to people, be like, hey, you should do the right thing and give the rights back to me so that my kids have this
Right.
thing here. Which I mean is fair enough. I mean, he made this entire thing possible.
Right.
Um,
No. No.
but
It's crazy, because I just feel bad. Cause
yeah, I mean, I also feel bad because it's the franchise is one of my favorite franchises, and it's like I think the dude who made the thing to begin with should probably benefit the most from it. But
Right.
in some ways, it's almost like the same stuff that happened to Rocky when like
Ollie fucked him over.
yeah, gah,
Yeah.
they should have killed Paulie like the first movie. Like
No,
he was
exactly.
worthless the whole time.
I hated that scene. That is one of those things where it gave me a trauma of like that whole thing of like you have this much money. Oh, your friend did a fucked up thing, so you lost all that money. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
like the time where
God.
you wake up and you're bankrupt and you've got nothing, and it's like
Yeah,
everything you've ever
exactly.
worked for is gone.
Yeah, it's just
You're
like,
just
oh,
like-
fuck that. My heart was like, I hate those things, but they traumatized me. And then like because I know like also because he started building back up in the Rocky films. I think like Rocky is, oh no, in the Creed films, like he's just like, oh yeah, Donnie's taking care of him, Adonis and stuff like that. But like honestly, like Creed 3, I'm interested in seeing, but like a part of me is like, okay, so this guy you're fighting, why shouldn't a Drago's son have been the third villain then? Because it seems like you've kind of gone down. Like Drago's son is like,
Yeah,
I'm the
this
elite
is basically
masterpiece.
Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
This guy's basically Clubber Lang.
It's the new club, and I'm glad they didn't have Clubber Lang's son show up. Like,
Yes, that's good. Now, I do want, it's okay. It doesn't have to be in the same order. I think it'll be cool to see that. I'm hopeful.
Well,
That's all I've got.
Well, the thing I'm hopeful for is because Michael B. Jordan said like since he's directing it, he's a big fan of Ippo, and so he wants certain fight scenes like that. So I'm gonna be like, oh, if he starts taking
I swear to God.
Oh yeah, that.
If I get the engine, like the
jet engine,
the jet engine sound, like it's like, and like, oh my God, if I get that slide into the freaking liver shot, I'm gonna lose my
Right.
mind.
And then you see
Lose
like
my
the
mind.
shake and stuff like, thanks, Miguel. I wish. I saw that. That's great. Appreciate that, my man. But also to go off that, like, I think honestly, as a character, like, okay, so this is just honest. I've been thinking about this because I was watching the Creed movies. Adonis, I'm more like, you're okay. Like it's like he doesn't have the charisma of like Rocky's like a one of those himbos, right? Where he's just like,
Yeah, you just can't help but love him.
Yeah, he's a lovable dude. Like he's just like, yo, I'm gonna fight this guy. You know, he's just
Adrian!
like, Adrian. Like it's just like he's so cool. Apollo Creed, charismatic as fuck. All right, he is just like charming. He's just electric. The vibes are just like,
Oh no,
it's
there's
perfect.
Yeah, Carl
See-
Weathers is fantastic in that role.
He is fantastic in that role. Adonis, I mean, like, because I could see like his anger and why he was that way, and then there's certain things like in the second movie, like he was sort of annoying me, but then in the end I see why. But like as a character overall, I'm just like, you're fine.
I'll
Yeah,
agree.
okay, but-
You know what? I'll agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree
Yeah.
with that.
Because he's just, because there's nothing like that's special to him to me that makes me go like, I love watching this character. Is like I like Michael B. Jordan, but it's just like, yeah, you know, I like Rocky. I like watching Rocky train someone new. I like this, and then like, but he doesn't have the charisma of either. He's just like, oh, this is that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens with it if he can actually carry the movie without Stallone being in it.
Right. No, and like what D. Harvey said in the chat, I don't like that they said Creed is better than Rocky and Creed. Well, yeah, that is some BS to be like, because if Creed fought Rocky in Rocky 4, he would not win that.
Yeah, Prime Rocky.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, because there are all these like versus matches going on now. Like that's just the thing. Like because you'll see them on like YouTube Shorts or TikToks.
Oh, I know.
Like
I know.
yeah, it's crazy. It's just like Adonis Creed versus Rocky, and then it'll be like this, and then it'll be like, wait, how is he more durable than this when Rocky tanked the Russian doing this? Okay, it's just like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know why you're giving these stats away. It's just like, what?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty suspect of any of those versus things anyway, because for the most part they just say things without any data, and then
Right.
they're like, oh well, this just this is obviously it. And there's somebody was said something like that. I saw one of them that was Tanjiro
Okay.
versus Vegeta, and they gave it to Tanjiro.
Oh, that is. They must have been trolling.
They
I
had
cannot
to have
believe
been,
that
but I was like,
they
what is
had to have
wrong
been
with
trolling.
you?
Yeah, because there are sometimes like I watched one recently. I think it was like Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda versus that wolf from the new Puss in
Puss
Boots
in
movie,
Boots
which is
movie?
great. Chat, if you haven't seen it already,
I
it's
have
a
not seen
phenomenal
it.
film. It's a really good film.
I have heard
but,
it's
like,
really
they had
good.
some of these little things. I'm just like, if you watch the movie, you know that this is bullshit. So come on now. But it was just I see that all the time. Or like people they'll talk about like, oh, Sailor Moon versus Goku, right? Like the classic one, classic, all this stuff. But then they'll be like, actually, Goku could survive in a universe being blipped because in the future timeline, he went to the timeline and was able to pick up Zeno. That universe was completely. I don't think that correlates for being able to tank
Yeah,
a universe being
yeah,
blipped
exactly.
away.
You just made a case for him being able to survive Zeno blipping people.
Right.
And that's not happening.
Yeah.
By the
that-
way, chat, if you like Jordan's shirt there, I bet his ass can't beat Usagi. You can actually get that shirt if you go to my Twitter. There's a link at the top that has a link to those shirts, so you can check that out.
Yes, go get the shirts. Go buy the shirts. It is pretty good.
Excuse me. Let me get my drink.
Can you explain the difference between starting strength and maximum strength? I need you to define what you mean by starting strength. Unless you know what he's talking about.
Does he mean like what, like the what you have at the very beginning, and then like when you're maximum push, like because does he mean like at the start of the movement? Like,
I'm not sure. I need more.
Like
I need him to explain it.
he'll say it because like the way I'm picturing it right now, starting strength, I'm thinking of it like you fresh. That's what my mind.
Yeah, but
immediately
I don't feel like you can even make a like starting strength versus maximus. What does that mean? Like you pre-warm up?
You pre-warm up.
But it's like, yeah, it means you're not. It means you're not warmed up. Your muscles are cold, and
You're doing reverse pyramid training.
Your fibers are not going to be able to recruit as effectively because they haven't had that warm up.
Well, what do you think of like reverse pyramid training?
So when you say reverse pyramid training, you're talking about starting with the heavy stuff and then
Heaviest
working
weight
back down.
and then going
And then,
lighter.
So are you going back up or are you just going down?
So okay, so what you do is like, of course, you do your warm up set, so it's not like you're gonna wreck yourself. And then like the first set, instead of like building up and getting heavier.
So what would your warm up set look like?
Like a warm up set?
Yeah.
I feel like this is from people I know who do. I just like doing
Yeah, I just didn't know if you had an
no, but like for how it would do a warm up set would be something that you can do something with like 20 reps with. Like when you get to 20, it starts feeling fatigue, stuff like that.
Okay,
And you do about
so something
2
about
sets
40% or something like that.
Yeah, 40%, and then like you've done that, you're warmed up, you do it like twice, and then you've also done like
And then you go straight to the heavy.
Yeah, and then you go straight to the heavy,
What percentage and what rep range are we talking here for the heavy?
We're talking about like I'd say like from the people I know who do it, who like swear by it, they do like 5 to 6 reps the first set, and then they go up to 8 to 12, and then that's no more with good form.
So we're starting with 80 to 85% around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're working back down from there.
And then we're going like, and then the first set would be like 5 to 6. Next set would be like 7 to 8, and then the final set would be like 8 to 12.
One more time.
Okay, so the first set would be like 5 to 6.
5 to 6.
The second set
okay.
would be like between 7 to 8, and then the last set would be like between 8 to 10 or 10 to 12, depending on like what they're going for.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would probably be a good mix of strength and hypertrophy.
Hmm.
I don't know that you could actually touch the heaviest weights doing that though. I
Right,
feel like
right,
it
right.
might be a really solid protocol for muscular, development as far as hypertrophy is concerned, but I
Hmm.
don't know that it's the best for increasing strength. Like it probably is better for hypertrophy than strength gaining.
Okay,
If
so
you had if I had to like throw it out there.
okay, so like for instance, there's what's his name? God, I know he has like really nice hair. Fuck. Kino Body. Yeah, there's a YouTuber by the
Oh
name of
yeah,
Kino
yeah,
Body,
yeah.
right?
Okay, I've
Uh,
heard of him.
yeah, so he swears by that reverse pyramid training thing. And he actually shows on his channel like he doesn't do fake weights, all that stuff. But like he says his primary thing is like you should work out like only lift like 3 days a week because like your central nervous system needs to recover in like 48 hours between sets to really
Okay.
lift heavy. And so like when he lifts heavy, he's able to like really go in and like lift those reverse pyramid sets like pretty heavy.
Hmm.
And then what that did for him was he showed his like weight his benching increase tremendously to the point where he can do like 110s like for 10 reps or something
Okay.
like that, and then he could do like freaking 315 or 350 for like like 5 reps or something like that,
Okay.
like just when he like does this stuff, because he was saying like because that excess rest and the fact that he's not he's doing it in a more reverse setting that like
Yeah,
allowed him
I'm
to
not
grow
saying
faster.
that you're not going to get strength gains off that, but I just think in terms of the way that it's structured, it is probably more geared toward hypertrophy
Right,
than strength gains.
right, because
Because
they're like
like
you're really
as
fatiguing the
you
muscle.
know, each
Yeah.
session, however you build it, is going to be geared toward more one adaptation than another.
Right, exactly.
And I
Like
feel
every,
like that adaptation would be more hypertrophy than strength.
no, that's true. That's true. That's what he sells most of his programs on, is just like get stronger, build that Greek god body, stuff like that. So I was like,
Yeah, I
oh,
know. I figured he was an aesthetics guy.
yeah, yeah. He's very much an aesthetics guy. So I was like, yeah, cool. I just see him pop up on my feed every now and then. I'm like, oh, interesting. Because because I can't do that heavy stuff anymore. Like it like messes with my joints too much every single time now. It annoys. And no matter how much I warm up, like eventually, like I could be like doing like 2 months straight, and then it's just like, what did you do to us? And I'm just
Look,
like,
man,
body,
it's whatever your
please.
body likes.
Yeah.
It's whatever your
Just like
body likes.
how dare you? And it's just like, we are a conditioning person, Jordan. You have stamina for days. You don't need to be doing that. I'm
So
like,
D Harvey, I have done squatting every day on 2 separate occasions, and you can definitely get nasty strong doing squatting every day. Issue is you need to make sure that you vary your movements. You need to make sure that you been, and when I say vary your movements, like front squat, back squat, sumo squat, that you're in different positions, like a close stance squat, stuff that's going to still feel like a maximum effort, but maybe you can't touch as much weight as you could for the back squat. So those things are important, and then you probably need to have a couple of days a week where you're only touching some sub-maximal weights, like doing front squats. Like Friday and Saturday, maybe you're just doing 30 to 70%, and you don't hit anything above 70%, and for just a few reps. And I can tell you right now that you definitely will get strong. But I will say the thing that will wreck you is if your nutrition is not on point, your sleep is not on point, if you're not recovering well, and if your form is trash. Because if
yeah,
you are going in there and you're squatting with bad form, or if you're squatting like leaning too much to one side, or if you're leaning too far forward, you're not hitting, you're going to end up hurting yourself because you don't have the the appropriate mechanics.
right, right. No,
Um,
no, that's
So how much pounds can you do? So I actually hurt myself last year, and so actually I take that back. I hurt myself about 3 years ago, and I just said, "Screw it, I don't care. I'm going to keep training." And then eventually it was like, "Hey, you need to stop."
right.
So I ended up stopping whatever else. Before I got hurt, before I stopped training as hard with the heavy stuff, about 14 months ago, I was benching 380 and squatting 385.
Nice,
And
awesome,
deadlifting for 45, I think.
very
Um,
nice,
but
very strong.
currently, I'm on a building back up because I've been focusing primarily on not being in pain.
No, exactly.
Because
Longevity.
longevity. Because I was, what happened was, long story short, I had a couple of injury things happen outside of the gym, and I never really got them addressed. I just kept training, and while I was getting stronger, those weak points that I had those injuries in eventually said, "Bruh, you done.
What are you doing?
You are
What are you
done."
doing?
And so,
I'm
like,
stopping this.
so what I should have done is just taken the appropriate time, focused on recovering from those injuries, and instead of just continuing to train. So if you have issues with your posture, if you have pain, if you have things like that, don't work through that. Find out what's causing that problem and fix it.
Exactly. Exactly. All these kids and these people are always trying to work with their egos in check, but then it's just like, hey, get the thing. Makes you wish senzu beans are real, because then you could just fuck up and just be like, oh man, I fucked. I'm sorry. I'll do it better. No, actually, I won't. You're just like,
Oh, multi-wig karma time from he's got so many different names. Said that I reached a 395 bench. I don't remember.
Nice.
I don't remember doing that, but my memory is also kind of trash. So,
395 Ben. That's awesome, though.
I think he's right.
That's
I think I maybe did hit a 395.
See, that's good.
So anyway, the yeah, we probably are kind of like done with the talk about power levels and stuff. We can keep talking, that's fine. Whatever else. Oh, so yeah, right before I started to cut. This guy said this a couple, I'm not that guy, said, would you guys agree that Hulk would represent stamina and Captain America would represent endurance? And I really no. Because what do you mean stamina and versus endurance? Because like those are kind of synonymous terms.
I learned this a while ago. I actually wrote a video on it because, like, where is it? Stamina versus endurance, the difference. Okay, hold on. There was a video I saw on the. Hold on 1 second. I'll check my fucking list. Oh my gosh, I had it. All right, stamina versus endurance, Jaxblade files. Okay, where is it? Okay. So here's one thing. Like, endurance is one's ability to exert oneself and remain active for a long period of time. It involves both muscular endurance and cardiovascular endurance. When you have high endurance, you will be able to engage in laborious activity or exercise for a longer period of time. Stamina is one's ability to sustain prolonged physical or mental effort. Only involves muscular endurance. When you have good stamina, you will feel energetic while performing an activity.
So
So
staying
like,
power for a particular movement.
Yeah, so I guess it's staying power. So it's like,
So like
for instance,
endurance, strength,
or
strength endurance.
So it's more like, okay. I remember the thing
Oh.
we was talking about.
We just got a super chat. Thank you very much. I
super
appreciate it. Well,
Yes.
I will address that here as soon as Jordan stops talking.
No. I think it was like, okay, so like, all right. For example, you have the endurance to run a mile, right? Like the endurance to run a mile, but like when you're doing it, it could be like, oh God, like I'm fucking like tired. Exactly that. I have the endurance to finish this, but it's just like this is a process.
Okay.
Versus if you have the stamina to run a mile, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm fine, fresh as days.
Oh,
I can just run
so
them.
it's more performance.
Yeah, I feel
minded.
it's more performance based stuff.
Okay. Moss asked, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Do you think that the computer fight concept used in Rocky Balboa is practical in assessing the outcome in a real fight between real people? This idea started with Marciano versus Ali, in which Rocky won. So, no, I don't. Just
Are
because.
you telling me that in Fight Night, when I made Mike Tyson fight Iron Mike Tyson, they would?
The reason that I don't is because combat is frequently super chaotic, and you can put in everybody's skills, and it's sort of like any given Sunday sort of thing, like anything could happen.
Right.
And you never know
Fighter's
what's gonna.
punch,
Yeah, you
or-
never puncher's chance. You never
Puncher's
know
chance.
what's gonna happen in those situations. And you could say, oh, one person is more skilled, one person's more, whatever else. But especially when you're taking fighters from different eras, that's really difficult because when you're comparing fighters in the same era, you got similar training methods, you've got similar skill levels because the sport evolves.
Right, right, exactly.
The sport super evolves. If you look at the technical capacity of boxers now versus 100 years ago, they look completely different.
They really do. Like they used to do the
Yeah,
things
they
like
look
that,
completely.
and
And
now
if you
they're just
like, for instance, if you want to see a really like slimmed down version of what that is, 1990s mixed martial arts to now, it is completely different. The level
those
of
Tekken
the
fights.
the level of athleticism and the level of technical ability that exists now in professional mixed martial arts, these guys that are like mid-level guys now would dance their asses across the top tier guys of the 90s, in my opinion.
Right. Well, like I think it also depends too on like like for example, like Deontay Wilder was like, "Oh, I will beat Mike Tyson's ass" or something like that, and it's just like prime Mike Tyson. You have to think of like the different. That is just he would dog.
I'm sorry.
You, like,
He's washing
ugh.
you. And the only reason
Yeah.
I say that is because the man is operating as a heavyweight with speed that is like 2 or 3 weight classes like lower.
Right,
It's just
right.
insane, and the amount of punching power that the man could throw out was insane. Yeah, so
Ex-
if you're getting wrecked by the Tyson that you keep getting wrecked by, you
Right.
ain't fighting that man.
Exactly. It's not exactly. It's just ridiculous. 'Cause
Look,
it's just like,
I'm not saying I'm not saying Wilder's not a good boxer. He's a great boxer, like, but I mean, like he's obviously run up against a pretty strong obstacle with Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury. I mean, like, yeah, he has reach and power, but he doesn't have like the like Mike Tyson. He just like that peekaboo style of him just getting in and just like laying in the body and just like boom, 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 and then like just being so elusive too, like with certain things he would do. I just think that is just too much. Even if like the height and reach is like so different, like it just. He needs to watch who he's talking to. Like, it just makes you wonder, like, if fucking Cuz D'Amato didn't die at all, like, just how far Tyson would have went.
Oh, you know what? A boxer that I think is probably one of the most dominant boxers in modern times is my brain has this problem where it will take things from me as I'm about to say them.
Are they heavyweight or?
He's a
welterweight?
Japanese boxer.
Oh fuck! God, I can't think of.
Hold on. I know who it is. Give me just a second.
Japanese boxer.
Yeah,
'Cause I was
I know my. I don't know why my brain does that. I'll be in the process of about to say it, and it'll just be like, "Nah, you don't get to say that." So
Canelo Alvarez.
give me just
yes,
a second
Mexican. The Mexican boxer who should. What is his name?
It's an N name.
Okay. The fighter. Go in.
If you
The body.
okay, I don't. Yeah, I don't know why.
Is he what weight class is he?
He's a light fella.
Okay,
um,
lightweight boxer. Because I can think of like several boxers. Like there's like that Tank guy. There's Ryan Garcia, Canelo Alvarez.
I think he's actually smaller than lightweight. Hold on.
Japanese boxer, lightweight.
Okay.
No, Naoya Inoue.
Yeah.
Nah,
In a way.
Inoue.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, let me
Thank
take a
you.
look. No problem. Let me take a
My
look.
freaking brain, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, yeah. Wow,
Oh,
he's shredded.
Video's frozen.
He is shredded. Oh, did you see that fight of Pacquiao fighting that kung fu guy?
No.
So there's this guy who he does like a lot of demonstrations for martial arts. Like he'll do like these really fast like Bruce Lee type moves, and then like he'll like
Is
he
that
like
the
knock
super
this.
fast Wing Chun guy?
Yeah, the super fast Wing Chun guy, and he had a boxing match with Manny Pacquiao, and it went how you expect. Like Pacquiao torched his ass up, and it was just like it was one of those things where the comments like, yeah, that's what you get for like. And it's just like, well, it's boxing. Like, what the fuck do you expect? It's
Yeah,
like,
what did you
okay,
expect?
exactly. It's just like that whole thing with like Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. Like, it's a boxing match. If it was any other fight, Conor would manhandle him. Sadly, like that's just what would happen. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if Matt, the video might be frozen currently. Oh well. But yeah, thank you guys very much for listening to us ramble about stuff for
yeah.
over an hour. Since the video's frozen, we'll probably wrap this up here.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have anything that you'd like to see us talk about, let us know. We occasionally like to get together and discuss things either of sports or fitness or anime type stuff. You can go back and check out some of the versus matches that we've talked about. Like the Elder versus
Elder
Yujiro.
versus Yujiro.
Yeah.
All Might versus
Yujiro,
Yujiro as well.
which both of those Yujiro lost.
Yeah, Yujiro would lose badly.
Well,
not the Elder one, but yeah.
Viltrumite versus Kryptonians versus Saiyans.
Viltrumite versus Kryptonians versus Saiyans.
Apparently we need that one.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
Viltrumite versus Kryptonians versus Saiyans. Yeah, that does sound like a good one.
We'll have to, if we do that one, we'll have to like put a couple different scenarios out there.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just like, isn't the reason Superman is special is just because he grew up on Earth?
Okay,
like, he just has longer solar radiation. That's why he's so special.
I think it depends on the iteration, because in certain iterations, Superman, Clark, Kal-El is also like a really strong genetic specimen of a Kryptonian, and so he just happens to like get more out of it than others.
Okay.
But then in other ones, yeah, it's because he's been here longer. So who knows?
That's crazy. So if you just have a Kryptonian that just baked for 30 years, just came along and be like, okay, Clark.
I mean, because there's obviously something about if you take a freaking sun dip, you're going to be a monster for a short period of time. So I mean,
exactly. You just need to sit near the sun for like that was the whole thing with Superman Prime 1,000,000. He just baked for like 1,000,000 years and just like, oh, I'm God.
Now I'm basically God. So
yeah, it's just insane OP.
Cool. All right. Well, you guys, I've got some other stuff I'm working on. I'm working on a couple different videos so that we are actually bringing the channel back out of being dead, since I actually feel creative again. Yay.
Nice.
Yeah. We can actually start doing some of that stuff. And if you have requests for types of videos or workouts that you'd like to see, you can message me on Twitter or see it in one of these comments or something like that. Thank you for subscribing. And Jordan, do you have anything that you want to announce that you are currently working on, or anything that people can look forward to?
I have a video, okay, so I have for people who are here. How many people we got here? Like 12, 13, 16? Okay, well, I have a video I did recently. Is a sequel to a video I did back in 2022 where I was like, hypothetically, how many calories would Baki Hanma burn in an average day just living his life, that me and Sensei actually like mapped out together or stuff like that. So I did a video on that like last year. But I did one recently, which should be coming out later this week, for Spider-Man, and just how many calories he burns in an average day. And it's just,
Nice.
it was actually really funny to like go through and see like, oh, well, that would burn a lot of calories, and it makes sense why like he has to be this active. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, be sure to check out my channel. It should be out sometime later this week, and I hope you enjoy it.
And I guarantee most of you guys who are already in this chat are probably subscribed to Jordan anyway, but if you're not, go do that.
And if you came from my place, be sure to subscribe to Anime Trainer too. It's totally worth it.
Thank you guys very much. I will see you later. Until next time, guys, I'm the Anime Trainer. Good luck and train hard.
Keep calm. Booyah on. Don't forget Momentai. Yes.